you. Hello everyone. First, I wish to convey my thanks to everyone for joining today. Since people have joined across the world, I wish to convey my good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Field Service Bootcamp. It's a third day of the event. MVPs, experts, SMEs from across the world talking all the things about the field service. All the sessions will be fully packed with exciting contents. Hopefully, all the sessions will be very useful for you guys. And today I'm going to speak about how to set up and use the resource scheduling optimization, the RSO. So before getting into the topic, let me quickly give a small introduction about myself. Dharanidharan Balasubramaniam. People call me Dharani. I'm working as a senior technical lead in Exchanging Malaysia. And also I'm leading the Malaysia Microsoft Business Application User Group. And also I'm one of the lead in Asia's Microsoft Business Application User Group. And I'm a Microsoft certified trainer too. On the screen, I'm flashing all my contact details like LinkedIn, blog, Twitter, and YouTube. If you guys have any queries, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy and glad to assist you on your queries. Also, in the presentation, if you have any queries, please feel free to raise your hands and ask your questions. So here is the quick agenda of today's session. First, let me walk you through the introduction to the resource scheduling optimization and benefits and how RSO works. And then I will quickly show you a system demo like how we need to set up and use the RSO. Then we'll see the summary of the session. And finally, I will take up the question and answers for this session. So So the RSO, so this resource scheduling optimization automatically schedules jobs to the people, equipment, facilities, and best equipped to complete them. And this includes like automatically scheduling the work orders to the field technicians and cases to the customer service reps and any other example based on how you are using the Dynamics 365 field service, customer service, and the project service automation. And RSO is like a more advanced form of scheduling for the field service organizations. So yeah, so this we'll see in detail now. So if you ask about the dispatchers, they will be in charge of scheduling the resources, internal employees, contractors, the facilities, and the equipment encounters. Several scenarios are there. They need to work on the given day. They need to work on their work with the given day. So the newly created items like work order need to be scheduled, and existing items may need to be rescheduled, and they need to be reassigned, even cancelled from time to time. So organizations are always looking for ways to increase the number of appointments that resources can handle during a day. Because every organization they will think like our employees should be more productive and while still being able to minimize the expenses such as the travel time and also the fuel cost involved in it. So out of box, we do have already have a universal resource scheduling optimization. It provides two methods the dispatchers can use to schedule the items. One is like a manual way and the other one is like a semi-automated way. In the manual way, the dispatcher or scheduler manually identifies the qualified resource and either schedules or reschedules item accordingly. Whereas in the semi-automated way, the qualified resources are suggested based on the specific criteria defined on the item like skill, based on the dates and the roles or the territories. As organizations work with more and more resources, it became more increasingly challenging to manage those resources efficiently. So those organizations could benefit from an automated scheduling approach. So this is RSO is an add-on capability which comes along with the Dynamics 365 application that enables you to automatically schedule work orders for the most appropriate resources. Also, this RSO allows you to optimize bookings to minimize the travel time and maximize the working hours and more based on your configured objectives such as minimize travel time and the maximize working hours. So next, we do have the benefits of RSO. These are the main benefits we are will be getting while using the RSO. One is like the automated scheduling, the majority of the requirement saves time and allows the dispatchers to focus on exceptions and the billing, and achieve scale allows the dispatchers to manage more resources, enabling the business to scale up the resources they manage, and we can get the customer satisfaction by improving the efficiency, drive more predictable arrival and the completion times, and seamlessly schedules alternative technicians for the urgent situations. And also we do have the technician efficiencies and the reduced cost, like fitting more appointments into working hours and drives revenue and reduces the overtime cost. And also we'll get the benefit like reduced the fuel consumptions and the less vehicle maintenance, ensuring your technicians are taking the shortest possible route with the turn by turn direction, it which in turn it will reduces the fuel consumptions and the wear and tear on the vehicles. And if each field technician saves one tank of gas a month, the savings generally it will suppress the cost of the RSO. And also we do have the improved customer retention, like giving preferences to the higher priority work orders helps avoid service level agreement penalties, and also it helps you to meet the customer service commitments. All those things are the benefits which we'll be getting while using the resource scheduling optimization. Next we'll see how the resource scheduling optimization works. This resource scheduling optimization needs to be installed and configured in your Dynamics 365 environment that is running the field service. So this image, it shows the overview of the data flow, how the data flows. First, like we'll configure the resource scheduling, the optimization. How we need to configure is like we need to choose our objectives and we need to choose our constraints based on the factors that are most important for our business. For example, rank importance of minimizing the travel time and maximizing the work hours with high priority appointments. This everything is done with the no code configuration. And next we have the run resource scheduling optimization in three ways. One is like via schedule, like running example, every day we can schedule at a one point of time and you will be able to run it. And you can run it at the triggers, like when the customer cancels when the customer cancels the booking, then that time we will be able to trigger the RSO and we can run the RSO, and the RSO will do the scheduling part. And third, we do have an option called run now. So using that, we can manually run the RSO and it will go and schedule the work orders automatically. And next, we do have the view results. On the schedule board on the mobile devices, the dispatcher will see the optimized appointments across all the resources on the interactive schedule board. The field agents will see their optimized daily and weekly appointments on their mobile devices. And this is how the RSO instance, the configuration part, like by default, all scheduling of an organization will either done by manually or with the help of the schedule assistant. The organization that requires the automated scheduling and the optimization, we need to purchase the RSO. That is an add-on solution. Once it is purchased, the solution can be deployed to a specific Dynamics 365 instance from the Dynamics 365 admin center by navigating to the applications tab. Like once the RSO is installed, so if you once you purchase the add-on, it will be listed in your applications tab. Over there you will be able to go and configure it. Once if you try to configure it, it will ask you to select the version and the instance. Then if you select it, and it will take some couple of minutes, and then the RSO will get installed in your system. It will deploy it into your system. And also when it is deployed, what in the backend, what it will do is like RSO will create an Microsoft hosted Azure instance that hosts the Azure, the optimization engine and the service. So that instances are managed and it is maintained by a Microsoft and it is used only for the RSO deployment. After the RSO solution has been deployed, it can be managed from the same area moving forward. And once if you get installed, then you will get this kind of a screen. It will show you like upgrade to new version, the change organization, open CRM organization, and delete current deployment. So quickly, I will show you side by side. I will show you the how it will be there. So if you go to our portal dot the admin dot the our Microsoft 365 admin center. So over here I will be able to see our Power Apps under all admin centers. So if you go to the admin dot power platform dot microsoft dot com, here we can see the resources and here you can click on the Dynamics 365 apps. Once you go here down, you will be able to see the resource scheduling optimization. Before this, I will quickly show you here how we need to purchase. If you are having the Dynamics 365 field service, then you go to the purchase services. Then over here, you can type the RSO. It will take you to the add-ons category, and in the add-ons category, you will be able to see it. Since I have already purchased it, so mine will be listed like this. This is my instance. So here we'll be able to see it actually. So here you can see your the customer engagement plan trial, and this is my field service plan. And in the field service plan, so here we'll be able to see all our associated add-ons. If your add-on is installed, then your add-ons will be listed like this. If it is not installed, then you can go to the purchase services and you can purchase the RSO, the add-ons from here. For purchasing the add-ons, so for RSO add-ons, it's mandatory that you need to have the Dynamics 365 field service. So once it is purchased, then I will show you how to do the configuration part. Then you can come to the admin.microsoft.com, and over here you can click on the all admin centers. Then it will take you to this page. Here you can click on the Power Apps. Now here you can see the resources. If you click on the resources part, down we'll be able to see the resource scheduling optimization. Here it is already configured. If it is not configured, it will show like not configured. Like you can click on this manage button. Then if you click on this, then it will take you to the RSO deployment page. And in the RSO deployment page, it will ask you to select the particular instance, and it will ask you to select the version, and it will ask you to agree for the license and all. If you agree, and if you click on the deploy button, so it will take like a couple of minutes to deploy it. For me, it took like around 10 to 15 minutes. Once the deployment is completed, then we'll have a screen like this, like open CRM organization, the current, the delete current deployment, all those things will be able to see it like this. Okay, so this is the first major thing. So once this is done, then we need to start up with the initial configuration. So after this solution has been deployed, then yeah, it will need to configure inside your Dynamics 365 instance. The configuring the RSO solution includes such as enabling the functionality in your environment and defining what should be optimized by the solution. So all those things you need to configure it manually as a first time, as it's a one-time step. You need to do all those things. By default, the RSO will not be enabled, so it will need to be turned on. This is done from either from the resource scheduling optimization app or from the universal resource scheduling app by selecting the administrator resource scheduling parameters. So once you install this RSO, then if you come to the Dynamics page, then here you will be able to see an application called resource scheduling optimization. Okay. Once if you see this, then the first thing what you need to do is like you need to go to the administration, and you can see the scheduling parameters here. If you click on this, and here you will be able to see this tab resource scheduling optimization. Here first thing you need to enable this. By default it will come as a no, but I have enabled this one. So yeah, this is the first step we need to do is actually okay. So you need to enable this, and you need to set your default goal. The default goal by out of box, the default goal will get created automatically. You can use this default goal by customizing it, or else if you want to create your own goal and if you want to map it, then you will be able to do it. So this is the first step we need to do it actually. So once this is done, then additionally what we need to do is like we need to enable the map. Like for enabling the map, if you click on the general tab here, there will be an option called the connect to maps. So you need to mark this as yes, and you can generate the by default it comes with the Bing maps. So this map is integrated with the Bing maps. But if you want to use any other map, like you will be able to use it. But by default it will comes with the it will connects to the Bing map. But if you generate any other Google map or anything, you can generate the key and you can put it here. As of for our demo, I have generated the Bing map API key and I have updated over here. So yeah, So this is the secondary step. And next thing what we need to do is like once this primary step is done, then we need to prepare the data for our optimization. So for RSO to be able to optimize the necessary resources, requirements, booking, you will need to ensure that you have enabled the each item that will need to be optimized. Okay. For example, if you want RSO to update and schedule the items for the subcontractors, then you will need to ensure that the each contractor is defined in the application as a resource, and that needs to be optimized. For example, for my demo purpose, I have just added my name as a resource here. So I have selected that my resource type as a user, and I have selected my name, and I have added my name here. So once you created the bookable resource, then once the RSO solution is deployed into your Dynamics 365 instance, then for few of the entities, you will be able to see this tab called resource scheduling optimization. Over there, you need to go and you need to mark this optimize schedule as a S. So this one you need to mark it as a S. Then after you enable your resource for RSO, then you also need to ensure that the each resource has a valid latitude and longitude defined based on their starting and the ending location. For that, what you need to do is like here we have a scheduling tab. If you click on the scheduling tab, here we'll be having the start and the end location. The start location will define where the resource begins their day. This is like used to assist in route mapping for the resources. Like similarly, the end location defines where the resources will end the day. And also we do have an organizational unit. This defines the specific organization that the resource belongs to and it will be scheduled from. So once you start the resource starting and the ending location, so over here you have like three options. One is like a location agnostic, and next is like the resource address, and the third is like the organization unit address. So this location agnostic is nothing but so if you does not have a specific location defined, so it can be used actually when the resources does not have a clearly defined starting and the ending location, then in this case you can go with the location agnostic. And the resource address, it uses the latitude and the longitude associated with the corresponding records based on the resource type, whatever the resource type we are selecting here, right? So based on that, this resource address will take it up. In my case, I have given my resource type as a user. Then if you go to the advanced settings, if you go to the users, so in the users record, we'll be having a scheduling tab. So over there, it will have the latitude and longitude. So over there, you need to provide the latitude and longitude of their start and end location. So you can scheduling tab here, you need to provide the latitude and longitude. So if you create this, if you create the resource type as a user, and if you give the start and end location as a resource address, then it will pick up that latitude and longitude as a start location and the end location. Whereas and even we do here the resource type as a contact, and we do have an account. If you are choosing the contact and the account, then it will use the latitude and the longitude associated with the address defined on the Dynamics 365 account or a contact record. Okay. And next, and one more thing we need to make sure is like so this both the things should be same actually. The start and the end location must have the same setting. For example, you cannot have the start location as a this one the organization unit address and the end location as a resource address. We need to make sure like we are selecting the same value for both the start and the end location. So once this is done, then we need to start set up the optimization configuration. And this requirements are like one of the key items that will potentially optimized by the RSO. Like for example, when the work order is created, to ensure that the resource requirement can be scheduled by the optimization engine, so it needs to be enabled for the optimization. How we need to enable it? If you go to the administration, so here you will be able to see the enable resource scheduling for the entities. If you click on this, then the enable entities will be able to see it here. Then you can click on this work order entity. It will open up the booking setup metadata. So here we'll be able to see it. So all the configuration details will be available over here. Okay, so you need to come here and you need to here also we'll be finding a tab called resource scheduling optimization, and the default scheduling optimization by default it will be do not optimize. Then you need to come and select here as an optimize and you need to save this record. So by default it will be do not optimize and we need to make sure like we are changing it to optimize one. And the important thing is like the work location must be set to on-site or the location agnostic. If on-site is the requirement, the latitude and longitude value must exist in the work order. This will typically be populated automatically to the work order based on the service account which we are selecting in the work order. For example, if you're selecting the service account in the work order, then in the location tab we do have a field called latitude and longitude, then automatically that will pop up based on the address what we have selected. So once this is done, then we do have a booking status configuration. So we can go to this booking status configuration and there are like these are the booking if you open this one, so here we can see it actually. These are the scheduling methods actually, like optimize or do not move and the ignore. Okay, so so you need to configure. So on what stage you need to optimize and what stage, for example, on the booking status, on what stage you need to optimize and what stage you need to ignore and what stage you need to choose do not move. All those things you need to configure it. These are the three optimization options available. Optimize is like RSO is free to move this booking around. Okay, if you select the optimize, then RSO is a RSO engine is free to move this booking around. If you select the do not move, the RSO do not alter the booking. RSO preserves the estimated arrival time and the assigned resource, and the booking start time and the estimated travel duration may be changed if the RSO schedules a booking in a new location before the do not move booking. And this operates same as the user set the booking locked to the resource plan. So yeah, and do we and also we have a ignore actually, and if we select the ignore as a scheduling method, then this will completely ignore the booking. Okay, it will ignore for both the locations and the time, meaning there will be overlaps. If it is as if the booking does not exist, then use this when the booking status is in the state of proposed or cancel. So here I have set up, so based on my business requirement, what I have done is like for all the stages, I have set up like the scheduling method. So based on that, my RSO engine, it will run and it will do the allocation part. Now the next we will see the optimization scope, and here is the optimization scope. So here I will be able to see this optimization scope here, and I will go back. I will open the optimization scope. Yeah. So the optimization scope, the mainly will have the objective and the constraints. Yeah. So here is the optimization goal actually. So the optimization goal mainly it will have the objectives and the constraints. Objectives is nothing but it defines the objective that you are trying to achieve. For example, an objective may be to maximize the working hours. And the constraints is nothing but it defines a constraint that should be considered when attempting to meet the objective. For example, constraint may be that an item must be scheduled during the work hours. So there are some of the objectives by default. If you click on this here, we do have like 8 objectives. So based on the we need to select the objective and we need to select the order and we need to create the goal. And similarly, this constraint is also the multi-select option set field. Here we do have all the constraints available here and we can select our constraints. And we need to create the first the optimization goal. Okay, so this is the first step. So we need to define the optimization goal. So once this is done, then we need to go for the optimization profile. So you can see the optimization profile here. And this is the optimization schedule. Once the goal is set, then you need to come to the optimization schedule and you can give the name and the scope. You can give the goal and initially it will be there in the unpublished state. Okay, and run a simulation. You can give it as a no, and we do have the timer option available here. And like here it is a like option drop down, so you can select your value whatever you want to select it. And we have a timer mode. The timer mode will be fixed, and after job completion, if you select the fixed, then each and every time, for example, if you select the timer as a 30 minutes and if you give as a fixed, then each and every half an hour it will this the optimization engine, the RSO engine, and it will run and it will try to optimize the work orders. Whereas if you give the after job completion, then every time once the job gets completed, then it will take the 30 minutes and it will run the next job. Okay. And you can give the valid from and the valid to, and we do have the filter option available here, and you can do your filter time zone, and we do have a month, days of week, hours, minutes. There are the lots of ways available. You can apply your filter over here. So once this filter is done, for the mainly where they will use this, like the different jobs may need to run the different times. For example, the schedule will run at 1 a.m. and 7 p.m. every Monday through Friday. In this instances, you can use the filter feature to define when the job will run. And the filter section of the schedule is the advanced feature which is available. And this filter window allows for a variety of the combination selected. You can select a variety of combinations over here, and you will be able to proceed with that. And once all the settings are done, then you need to publish it. Then you can click this and you can publish it. So it will say like the schedule is published in the background. You can continue to use the Microsoft Dynamics 365. The status available here is like unpublished, publishing, published, out of sync, under maintenance, and failed. So initially it will be in the unpublished mode. You need to publish it. So as soon as you publish, it will change into publishing mode. And there is a one more state called out of sync. The changes made against the schedule require it to be published again. If you are making any change, then it's to be published again. Then under maintenance indicates like someone is upgrading the RSO to a new instance. Then that time this engine will become like under maintenance. And there is a one more state called failed actually. Okay. And once this is done, then we can schedule our optimization request. So once this is done, then you can run these are the configuration, the initial steps you need to do it. And you can, as I mentioned, like you three ways you will be able to run it. One via like whenever the status gets changed, you will be able to run booking status change. Then you will be able to run it. Then based on the customer cancels the appointment, then you will be able to run it. Then we do have an option called run now. Then if you click on this run now, so it will start running here, and you will be able to see the all the optimization request over here. So here I have some configuration issue over here. That's the reason it is saying like there is no resource requirement or booking to be optimized. But if you configured everything, then here you will be able to see all the details over here, and the bookings will be there and the resources also will be there. So each and every half an hour, if it runs, then the scheduling optimization request will be created, and what all the booking associated with this scheduling optimization request and what all the resource got allocated for this, all those things will be able to see it here. Here you can see actually see unchanged the resource is showing my name, but nothing, the operation, nothing has been changed. So no booking has been associated with this. No booking has been affected with the scheduling optimization. But if any booking is associated with this, then I will be able to see those bookings and the resources under this particular tab. So this is how this the resource or scheduling optimization works automatically. And also we do have in the schedule board, we do have a option to go with the single resource optimization, single resource scheduling. So if you come here, then here also you will be able to run it. Here you will be able to see that particular resource. If you click on this, you will be able to see a thing called the optimize schedule. Then if you click on this optimize schedule, then for this particular user, then it will run and it will try to run what all the it will consider his skills, and it will consider this a travel time, and what all the bookings already the existing bookings with this, it will do the probability, and it will run and it will reassign all the work orders to that particular resource. This is one way of doing it. And also from the schedule board, in the details pane also we'll have an option for the optimization. Here also we can do it actually, all resources in the scope and the single resource also available. You can select the single resource and select the range for what day you need to run it the rest of the day, and from date and the to date you need to select it, and you need to select the goal here. And if you select the goal and if you run this, then it will start running, and here you will be able to see the optimization request history which it got generated for this particular request. So yeah, so this is with the given period of time. I have just quickly shown how we'll be able to set up the RSO and how we'll be able to use it. And so whenever the work order gets created, and based on the optimization goals and the optimization scopes and the optimization schedule, the engine how we have configured, so based on this it will run, and it will all the it will create the bookings for that work order. It will automatically assign the work order to the resources automatically. So yeah, so if you have any questions, then please feel free to ask me. So just I mentioned what all the things I just explained, I have mentioned in the slides here.
All right, that was an excellent session. Let's take one question real quick and then switch over to Julian. So we have a question from Harold Simon. What is the typical project effort range on top to implement RSO?
No, what is the project effort?
Yeah, what's the typical project effort to implement RSO? Like on top of your on top of an implementation project, how much extra you need on top to implement RSO?
See, as of to my knowledge, what I have seen is like you don't need to do write any code for that. It's everything you need to set up it actually. So this is like in real time. I haven't configured for any of my project actually. I just explored my part. I have purchased the RSO and I have explored over there, but I haven't implemented for any real time project, Andy. So if I implement it, sure, I will. I will be in a good position to answer this question.
All right. All
Yeah.
right. That was an excellent session. Thank you, Daran. That's
Yeah.
RSO is always one of those, like, to me at least, one of those most complex parts of field service and URS and the platform, to be honest. So, that's that simple way of getting it up and running and implementing it. Sessions around that are always useful.
Yeah, sure. And also, I'm planning to write the RSO related contents in my blog. So if you wish to follow my blog, and on the screen, I'm flashing my blog details, Twitter, and the email. And if you wish to connect with me in the LinkedIn, so here is the QR code of my LinkedIn. Please feel free to connect with me. And also, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I am always happy and glad to assist you on the queries. And also, thanks a lot, D365 Saturday, for providing me this wonderful opportunity to present the setup and RSO in the field service bootcamp. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for presenting and being a part of the conference. All right, let's hop over to Julian Sharp. Julian, are you